Today, you know, they talk about influencers. These are influencers, and they're friends of mine. Jack Posobiec. Where's Jack? Jack, he's done a great job.
All right, Jack Posobiec, we're back live. Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice. Washington, D.C. Folks, what if those who were once called conspiracy theorists turn out to be right yet again? A new study by Korean doctors claimed that COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 cancers, including lung, breast, and prostate. Researchers analyzed health records from more than 8.4 million adults between 2021 and 2023, and their findings were published in Biomarker Research, a respected scientific journal. The critics, of course, are dismissing it, but the data raises concerns that spike protein exposure may be tied to long-term health risks. Dr. Peter McCullough has been aware of this since 2020, which is why he collaborated with the wellness company to create Ultimate Spike Detox. These products were designed to help your body clear spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health with the natural ingredients like nattokinase, dandelion root, bromelain. It's your daily proactive defense from a man-made virus. Don't wait until symptoms strike or something unexpected happens. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, one of the top doctors who risked it all. Head to twc.health/POSO and use promo code POSO to get 10% off plus free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/POSO and use promo code POSO to get 10% off. Get back to that pre-COVID feeling. We're here in studio with Kenny Cody. Kenny, I want to drill down on this a little bit more. When, you know, we do see President Trump's polls dipping, and we see him, you know, going into the 40s. There are some people out there who have him in the 30s. I don't think that's quite right.
Sure.
But you see that, and what I look at is I see base erosion. I see people who it's not people who you know, who hated Trump and people are joining them. No, it's that people who supported him in the election, people who came out for him, these independents, these low prop voters, these people who aren't usually involved in politics, those are the people coming out and saying, you know, I don't know, I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
How does the populism versus elitism matrix play into that?
Well, populism to me, I've spoken about this for a lot of years. It is a tool. Populism doesn't have a necessary ideology. It's not communist. It's not conservative. It is a tool that you use to talk to the people that are not elites.
Well,
to talk to the working class.
I should say that, as you point that out, Mamdani is going to be in the White House today.
And he's a populist,
so there's a there is a communist who uses populism.
Yes,
but it's
absolutely.
a different flavor of populism where it's not like, hey, let's work to rise, you know, take the ground floor and raise it up and help out everybody. No, he's much more about taking the people at the top and killing them and castigating them and taking their stuff.
Yeah, and selling that to the American public, like saying that to the constituency that this is a good idea, it's going to promote working class stuff, and it's
predicated on very much the same anger.
Yes.
Because we were going through the New York data, and there were people, all right, if you just look at the numbers, there are people who voted for Trump in 2024 and then also voted for Mamdani in 2025. And if you don't understand populism, that would seem crazy to you.
And it's obvious that New York didn't. I mean, Andrew Cuomo was the most anti-populist that I've about ever seen. Literally came from a family that was elected. Literally came from a family that was intransigent in New York politics. And he was the anti-populist, and he lost by a landslide.
Right.
And I think that's what the issue the GOP needs to realize right now. And I've been singing the praises for years. Populism is how you win elections. No matter if that's the end result is good or the end result is bad. That is how you win elections.
Well, but it's also how you have to govern.
Yes, absolutely, because you have to listen to the middle class. Because what populism is, it's having an ear to the issues that people are caring about, and like the affordability crisis that Charlie always talked about, that is the main issue. It doesn't matter what the political identification is, whether you're Republican or Democrat, the affordability crisis is the main problem in this country amongst young conservatives, amongst young liberals, amongst Generation Z, and even those that are a little bit older than Generation Z, those that may move to another state because of a housing crisis, or they have to move for a job. The affordability crisis is going to be an ever-present issue, and we have to have our ear to the ground and use populism to know what conservative solutions that we can find in order to win elections and in order to actually deliver on the promises that we have made to Generation Z.
And JD Vance came out yesterday at that Breitbart forum, and he said, look, I don't care what the politics are. We need a health care plan.
Yes.
And the fact that we've, you know, he was talking about the administration, and he was saying the fact that we've been in office for this long and haven't presented a health care plan to the American people, it is an issue because Trump ran against Obamacare. He's been running against it for years. But and it's actually kind of funny. Like, it's a little ironic. The Democrats are attacking him for not having a replacement for it. It's like, so you admit that Obamacare sucks.
We need a replacement.
You'll admit that it needs to be replaced. Like, just wanted to point that out.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we all have to live under it. And I think what JD Vance said is correct, because you can't just complain about what's going on. You do actually have to step up and offer something.
Offer action. I wrote a column this week that was kind of rejecting the old William F. Buckley form of conservatism and adopting that Pat Buchanan, Wilmore Kendall conservatism, and that includes actual action. Yes, very based, and that includes actual action over just talking points. Like, you actually have to go out, instead of going and debating and getting along with Democrats. We actually have to offer solutions and deliver on promises, and that's something that Buckley didn't really want to do. He wanted to go over and talk to everybody and get along with everybody. Buchanan wanted action. He wanted to go and listen and use that populism to the effect of actually getting policy done, prioritizing policy first, and the America First mindset, and delivering on the promises for the middle class and the working class people, while Buckley just wanted to get along with everybody and promote low taxes. And that's the new form of conservatism.
So you need that in your optics, and I do think that the One Big Beautiful Bill had a lot of those wins in it.
Yes.
But at the same time, it got passed, and it's like nobody saw anything change, right?
Yeah.
Where was the tour? Where was that? Rich Barris came on here and said, I want to see President Trump on tour. I want to see him going to the factories and turning the lights back on.
Right.
I want to see him, going to these places. Don't just sit in a room and say, oh, this magnate from Japan says he's going to invest, and now here's the Saudi prince and he's doing $1 trillion. It's like, okay.
It's optics again. What you're talking
again,
about.
this is optics.
Yep.
You need to show the people that you are delivering.
Absolutely.
And that way, when it does happen, you get it. Now, we do have that on the deportation front,
Yes, we do.
which I think is great. We need more of that, obviously. But at the same time, if you don't get those optics, people are going to say, well, I don't see any changes.
Right.
All I see is this stuff involving foreign policy.
Right. And
1 minute till the break, Kenny Cody.
And I think they can feel it in their wallets. It's at some points. I mean, I know Caroline Leavitt talked about how that 16% less on turkeys on Thanksgiving, and that's all fine and great. But especially with the affordability classes and just like the living conditions, like in cities like that have been federalized, like D.C., and you're sending the National Guard in these cities to keep the peace. Go out and talk to those people.
Let me just say. Inflation is still a problem, and it's Bidenflation. Just keep saying that over and over. Bidenflation is something we're still fighting.
Absolutely.
That's all you have to say. It is much easier to say than to try to tell people that it's not happening.
Exactly.
Because you know who did that? Joe Biden.
Exactly.
Right back, Jack Posobiec, Kenny Cody, another special guest joining us in the next block, Human Events Daily.